Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah.
Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of can. But you make it round the world and it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. The Popcorn World.
Now it's time for Believe in the ACC with our starting lineup. From Florida State, number 17, Charlie Ward. From Morehead State University, number 50, Lloyd Stan. And from Murray State University, number 2, Kendrick Haskett. Get ready for the best sports show about the ACC in all the land. Believe in the ACC starts now. Somebody cue the whistle, please. All right. If y'all can see the behind the scenes sometimes, it's comical. At least on my end. I don't know about Kendrick then. On my end, it's comical.
I can't see
But we're here. But we're here now.
Yeah.
We're here now. The great Kendrick Haskins, Lloyd Spence. This is Believe in the ACC. Glad to be here with you guys this morning. We're recording in the morning. I don't know what time you're watching it, but for us, we get up early. For y'all, I'm just saying, like, subscribe, share. Jesus, the sacrifice that are being made for your benefit to make you informed. That's all we ask it, just for a like, subscribe, and a share. That's all. It's not too much to ask. Okay. Kendrick Haskins, how are you doing, sir? Let's start there.
I'm doing good. Busy week ahead, but got the big UK U of L volleyball game tonight.
That's tonight.
Yes. Louisville's ranked number 3. Kentucky is number 6. And, yeah, it's just a busy night. Got Louisville football on Saturday. So, yeah, busy.
Louisville has the advantage in the volleyball series right now. Is that correct?
They've won. I think it's 4 straight.
I was going to say they've done well.
Yeah, they're off to a slightly better start this season. They got 1 loss. Kentucky has 2. Kentucky lost to Pittsburgh. They both played in this volleyball event down in Texas last week. Kentucky got swept by Pitt, and Louisville lost a heartbreaker to Texas. They had that match won and lost. So, but they've won since. They've won 3 matches since then. Kentucky's won 2. Kentucky beat number 10 SMU in one of those matches. So it's an even match. It should be fun.
Louisville has not lost a step despite losing their head coach from last year, who went on to be back with her alma mater. And so it's interesting. The top people are still the top people. Nothing has changed in volleyball. The ACC is still going to be a gauntlet in volleyball. You're going to have to fight every night to prove your love in the ACC. So it's going to be a fun year. I can't believe I've become this big of a volleyball fan, especially. And by the way, if you want drama, dare I say, equal to anything that the men and women are producing in the NCAA basketball tournament, watch the volleyball. It's really nice, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a very fast growing sport between volleyball and softball. Those got to be the two fastest growing sports in the country. And then shout out to Dan Meskey, the U of L volleyball coach. He's been on the staff the whole time that Danny Busboom Kelly was here. So when she moved on to Nebraska, which is our alma mater, he stepped right in, and everything is.
Had missed a beat.
They haven't missed a beat.
Yeah.
Considering that they lost a lot off of last year's team, and so
they did.
For them to start off the way they have. Now, they've only played one ranked team so far, and that was Texas that they lost to. But again, they had that match won and just lost it at the end, and so. They haven't missed a beat. He's a great interview. He They brought him into the press conference on Monday with football, the normal Monday U of L football press conference. They brought Meskin, and he was great. And so, the program is definitely in good hands with him.
All signs are pointing to another great year for Louisville volleyball. And I don't know. I get the sneaky suspicion we're on a collision course, but we'll see. We'll talk more about that as the season unfolds. But it feels very collision course-ish, if that's even a phrase.
They'll somehow be in the same bracket in the tournament.
It's amazing how the NCAA is able to sit in the room and figure those things out like it's that difficult. But listen, we got a great show for you. Let's start where we start. We start with last week. We want to go over what happened last week. A game that turned out to be, actually, we talked about it last week, better than what we all thought it would be offensively. Now, defensively, it was atrocious. But offensively, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch them going up and down and scoring. Hollywood has come to NC State. They have a young player that is dynamic, and unless something dramatically changes, that kid is going to play on Sunday somewhere.
Yeah. And the funny thing, his name is Hollywood, so you think of someone being named Hollywood, you think of somebody who's just fast and and flashy. But no, he'll go in there and grind. So he's got Hollywood mixed with a little bit of Compton.
Yeah. He's not all Hollywood and flash.
Right. He's tough. He'll go in there and get the tough yards. He'll run people over. He's super fun to watch.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was a fun week to say the least, and watching him do what he did in that game. And of course, we're talking about Hollywood Smothers, which, by the way, might be one of the best names in football right now, because he's giving you the Hollywood, but also he's giving you that jelly that we all know and love in Smothers. Okay, so but he gassed him up for 164 yards, and he was on fire. They had no answer for him whatsoever.
Especially in that second half, they just put the ball out of the way.
Go win the game for us, and he did that. He did just that. So, but CJ Bailey wasn't awful. He threw for 201, 3 touchdowns. Yeah. I don't know if I'm still processing CJ Bailey and what he can and cannot do. But in that game against that team, a Wake Forest team that is way more competitive than you think they are, and they're going to steal some wins this year for sure. He was good. CJ Bailey actually played well. And again, the second half was much better than the first. So there you go. There were no surprises starting out on Friday night with Syracuse. Syracuse took care of business.
They didn't have to run.
They went in the game. They didn't have to run wind sprints. Message received. So they got on, destroyed a Colgate team who has yet to win a game. So not a lot to take away from that one. This one was interesting on Saturday, because I thought this was going to be way more competitive, but there may have been a little bit of South Florida hangover. There's a lot of things to do in South Florida. And so they probably did them all week. And Miami said, no. We are not Florida. We are Miami. And we know how not to go to the beach. Plus, it's just kind of unfair sometimes, Miami. Like, it's Miami. Teams come to Miami in the professional ranks, in the college ranks, and those games don't end well always.
So the coaches are stricter on the college kids. They can control them.
They try to be.
So
they try to be.
I don't want to attribute it to just the South Florida flu. I also think Miami is for real.
Well, that brings up an interesting conversation there, sir, because I think you might be right. I'm not going to get into the hype machine and talk about how the U is back. I'm not willing to do that
it's with hesitancy to say it because we
right.
know Miami does. But
Carson Beck is looking again like a top quarterback pick in the NFL draft. And I went back and had a chance to look back at some of the video from this past game, and I was watching his settledness in the pocket, where last year it was a lot of happy feet. There was a lot of, and I don't know if that's just because he just didn't trust the Georgia offensive line or.
Let's have a better old line.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he looks very comfortable, and even his off-field or sideline demeanor is very different. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes you can be unhappy in a situation, and that will affect the type of player that you are. He looks very much happier in this situation in Miami than he does he did in Georgia. Now, if you believe some of the rumors, there may be some reasons for that. He may have made some new friends. I don't know, but
Miami, Athens.
Just saying.
But and plus, he's gone through stuff now. He's a grown man. He's gone through some stuff now, and so he's grown up more than anything. Just looking at him, watching his poise, listening to his interviews, just looking at his demeanor on his face, you can tell he's grown up a lot in this last year. And after having to go through some adversity, some of it self-inflicted. But he's grown, he looks like he's grown through, and his game looks like it's grown.
Threw a couple of INTs, so a little bit of concern there, but not much. When you throw for 340, when you throw for 340 and rush for 28, you've had a good day. Good day. So I'm not going to focus on the negative as it relates to what's going on with Carson Beck. I think he's playing well. Now, our first what happened moment of the morning belongs to Clemson and Georgia Tech. And on this here podcast, we have been trying to warn you all that something is amiss in Clemson. And this game definitely exposed some of that. The first number that jumps off the box score is 15 of 26, which I've been trying to say to you all. Let me start by saying this, because this is probably the best place to begin. We have to stop overhyping in the preseason and just let the offseason unfold into the season like a beautiful flower being watered and nurtured in a garden. We have to stop forcing these kids to be what we want them to be. And I get it. There's a bit of manipulation marketing that we're trying to do because we want you to watch these games. So I get it.
There's a big one going on ESPN right now. We can get to that a little bit later.
Okay, great. So I get it. I totally understand what is taking place. The problem is that when the kid, and especially in college, this is especially true in college football, when the young men do not and cannot live up to the hype this early, it is extremely problematic. And the fans are going, but I thought, well, I get it what you thought, but also you have eyes. You can see what's going on. And I've been on the mountaintop oftentimes alone saying to you, guys, you know you got a great quarterback when you can see him doing pro things right now. I don't see K. Klubnik doing pro things. Like I see, he's a phenomenal runner. He is. I will give him that. Now, Why they've taken that out of the game, I don't know. That part I can't explain. Because he's not running like he did last year. That was his bread and butter. And now he's not doing it. So if you can keep him in the pocket, there's a strong chance you're going to win the game. And that's what happened this weekend.
I think there's somewhat fear of injury going on there.
100%.
By the staff. At the same time, while I agree with you on Klubnik, I agree up to a point because I also look at his weapons, which are not the same as the weapons that like a Miami has. Not even the same as what Louisville has. They just don't have. They have not done a good job of putting weapons around him, in the 4 years he's been there.
And specifically at the wide receiver and tight end positions. Now, Wesco, to his credit, Brian Wesco Jr. had a pretty good day. 7 receptions, 126 yards. That's not a bad day. Problem with that is that one of those runs was 73 yards. So the big number looks amazing, but the true production does not. Because if one reception was 73 yards, that means the other 6 weren't great.
Yeah, the 6 was 6 for about 50.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're seeing is, to Kendrick's point, there's not a lot of production. Now, the other side of this that makes this interesting to me, that I'm still trying to understand. Georgia Tech's complete offense is Haynes King. That is literally their whole entire offense. He threw for 211. He rushed for 103. He had one touchdown. I think he threw for one. No, he didn't even throw for a touchdown. Now the defense showed up big for them. So then I think they had a fumble or was that a fumble for a touchdown or something? Something happened, but the bottom line is they got 24 points. That's the bottom line. And Clemson got 21. So they outscored them. It may have been a lot of field goals. I can't remember the game because it's been a while now. But the bottom line is Haynes King is their entire offense. Kendrick, I have to ask you this question. How are they able to keep winning? Because they are 3-0. And they keep winning, and they're beating some decent teams en route with one guy. Essentially one guy.
Haynes King is incredible to watch. I can't see him on the next level, but on the college level, he's extremely fun to watch. I even text you. It's like he's great as long as he don't get killed.
Right.
He's fun to watch, but I don't know. I gotta look at the rest of their schedule because I don't know. I can't see this being sustainable.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel like, I'll let you do that. It doesn't feel like a sustainable model at all because it's one guy. And so against better defenses, surely they're going to load the box, make him throw the ball to God knows who because his receivers core is just okay. So it's like, I don't understand. But right now it's working. He got the whole thing working. I'm not even mad at Hayes King. I'm not mad at Brent Key. And by the way, need to probably sign Brent Key to his extension right now.
Yeah, immediately because he'll be somewhere in the SEC next season.
Without question.
Well,
without question.
But they won at Colorado, and then they beat Gardner-Webb, then they beat Clemson. So
we can pump the brakes a little bit.
A little bit. They play Temple this week. That should be a win. At Wake Forest could be interesting. And home for Virginia Tech. They've got a workable schedule. Home for Virginia Tech, at Duke, home for Syracuse, at NC State, at Boston College, home for Pitt, and then the rivalry game with Georgia. So they could very well find themselves in the ACC championship.
When we started this season, not we all, let me back up off that, but a lot of us said Clemson was the best team in the ACC. And clearly that is unfolding as an untruth. We thought Georgia Tech would be good. I don't know if anybody thought they'd be this good. And so can they sustain this based on their schedule? Possibly.
Like I said, they were picked 4th in the conference ahead of Louisville. And it was a shock to everybody. And like I said, they still got a lot to prove because, literally Clemson's the last ranked team on their schedule.
Well, I was going to say, but that makes it more likely that they can sustain this and get into the ACC championship game. No Miami on the schedule, no Florida State on the schedule, no Louisville on the schedule. The toughest team that they probably have left,
outside of Georgia, of course, Georgia.
Outside of Georgia, maybe Pitt, because we're thinking that Pitt, but Pitt hasn't been consistent enough to. So listen, this might be
at NC State. Looks like their toughest game left.
Could be. NC State is coming out on fire right now, so we'll see. But man, listen. First of all, Georgia Tech did ACC no favors by winning that game. Let's start there. They did them no favors whatsoever because Clemson taking that L was a massive setback for the ACC because that's two. They're probably out of the any possibilities of a national championship run or a playoff.
They're still there. I mean, they only have one. It's only one conference loss, and so
it is. But the problem is that you know how this works. When the narrative starts, it's going to be, well, there's a bad loss to Georgia Tech, even though Georgia Tech, like you said, is probably going to be the ACC championship game, or it looks that way anyway. So I don't know.
Clemson has a tougher road because they do play Florida State at home, and they have to play at Louisville, and those in back-to-back weeks.
And I don't think they're going to win both of those. It is a strong. No, it is a maybe stronger than likely possibility. Then they lose both of those. They could lose both of those games. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So,
but they backdoored their way into the playoff last year. So I don't want to completely count them out right yet.
Well, I'll do it for you. So I think I just think it's going to be tough for them to get in, but. A very interesting game and a very interesting Georgia Tech team has emerged from the crowd right now. No surprise here, though. No surprise here. Virginia getting over 500, and we thank William and Mary for their contribution to that. SMU riding the ship against Missouri State, although
that game was close early.
First quarter was 10-0. Missouri State was like, yeah, we got this. And then, the bottom fell out. But hey, first quarter, they were right there. Another game where we want to understand what happened. Pitt and West Virginia. First of all, it's the backyard brawl. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
It's a nasty, nasty. If you know anything about this rivalry, it's one of the most unspoken but nastiest football rivalries in the country year in and year out. They go at it, and it is brutal. And Pittsburgh had a shot to win this game, but it just got away from them, and they let that West Virginia touchdown come in, and then they let the touchdown and the field goal in the fourth quarter, and then in overtime, West Virginia at home probably rode the wave of the crowd and the excitement of the moment and the opportunity to beat the rival, and they got it. They got it done.
It was a strange game because it was like one of those games like you look up and Pitt had a nice lead. You think they're going to win it. Then all of a sudden West Virginia comes back and it looks like they're obviously going to win it. And then it goes to overtime. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild because, West Virginia had gone up 14-3, and then Pitt came back and led 24-14 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
and West Virginia came back to win the game. It was wild.
Yeah. Eli Holston, he threw for a lot of yards. He threw for a ton of yards, 303 yards. Didn't really. You miss 15 passes. That's a lot. Like, I don't know if Eli Holston throwing that much is the recipe for them to win games.
Right. And you wonder why they were throwing the ball that much when they had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Right. Well, I can answer that by saying this. They had 46 yards total rushing. So I think their rushing game is right now not as existent as they would like it to be. but clearly their pass blocking is going well, so they leaned on Holston being the most experienced probably on that offense. And he did his thing. I mean, he played decent. You know, he kept them, like you said, they had a lead going into the fourth. So, but obviously their run defense is garbage because Ty Edwards went wild on them. He had 141 yards rushing and 3 tutties. So
they didn't.
That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they only had 46 yards rushing on 34 carries.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, they also factor, because college football is weird. They factor in Holston sacks,
right? Which I don't understand. That I don't think sacks should be.
So that took 27 yards off. So they had not including how much he got sacked. They had 73 yards rushing on it. They needed to run the ball more. End of the day,
they got to get a more balanced attack if they're going to make any impact whatsoever. But still 2-1. So they're still right there. This will be an interesting season. And Pitt is still a tough place to go play. So hold your horses before you count Pitt out. North Carolina is just rolling right now, ladies and gentlemen. They just rolling. Bill Belichick got the whole thing working, 41-6 over Richmond. And that's exactly what we do in the media before a team falls. So we got to stop doing that. They beat Richmond, and that's a good thing. So let's just leave it. Let's leave it there. They beat Richmond.
ESPN kind of has left there. You haven't heard them say anything about North Carolina since that TCU game.
I think they're totally because they invested so much in the first week and was basically embarrassed by doing so. So I think they're like, maybe we should back off until there's some momentum here, right? Which is a smart thing to do. The shocker of the day, and this is another what happened moment. Old Dominion didn't just win the game. They beat down Virginia Tech in every way possible. And I don't understand why. I've never heard of Colton Joseph until, this weekend. I didn't know. And by the way, Colton Joseph wasn't like tearing the world up. He only had 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. So it's not like he was tearing the world up, but he added 63 yards rushing to his 276. So he had a really good day.
Old Dominion, I said it in our picks. Old Dominion, they gave Indiana all they wanted. I mean, that was a close game, and so to open the season. And so, of course, everybody, what's wrong with Indiana? That's where the attention goes. But Old Dominion is not a bad team. I'm surprised they beat Virginia Tech this bad.
Yeah,
but I wasn't surprised that they were in the game at least.
One of the problems, though, for Virginia Tech is the same problem that Georgia Tech has, except it's working out for Georgia Tech. But Kyron Drones is their offense. He's it. He's what they got. And he's being asked to do a ton of things, and he doesn't do them as efficiently as other players, which is probably why Virginia Tech decided, to Jacob Payne's point, to fire their head coach. Which was, there were a couple firings this weekend that were kind of not shocking, but like, okay, this early? Okay, I get it.
It's early to have firings. So.
Yeah, it was early. I get it because both of them were awful. Virginia Tech has been awful, and UCLA has been awful. UCLA has been very awful, and plus they spent a lot of money. That's why he got fired. It's not that he lost the games. It's that he lost the game and spent millions of dollars doing it. You can't do both. You got to choose.
Right.
You got to choose. You can't do both. He did both. So I'm curious to know what Virginia Tech is going to be for the rest of the season, having let go their head coach and now on the fly kind of having to redefine their entire, direction or whatever. So we both picked this one because neither one of us trust Duke. And you shouldn't either. You shouldn't either. Tulane handled business against Duke, brought them down to the bayou and was like, "Nah, son." And listen. By the way, Darian Mensah had a good. Well, he threw for a lot of yards. I'm not gonna say he had a good day because you can't throw 51 times and expect to win. And then I think late Tulane kind of called off the dogs because they were up. They were up. What was it, 31 points going into the fourth quarter. And so they were up 31-16, I think, going into the fourth quarter. So I think they were like, we got this. We're good. We're good. We don't have to do much more. So Duke is this year Mario Diaz. Is it Diaz, the head coach? Yeah. He's not doing well right now. They're not doing well. But it's Duke. Listen, this is one of those schools, much like Georgia Tech, ironically, that it's going to be cyclical. Every 3 or 4 years, Manny Diaz. I said Mario. Right. Every 3 or 4 years, they're going to be pretty good because he's had them long enough to instill culture and system and all those things. But this ain't the year. This ain't the year for Duke. So they're going to make some substantive contributions to wins in the ACC for other teams.
Yeah, I mean they were down 24-3 quick.
Real quick, like it got out of hand real fast.
Yeah.
Minnesota, California. I don't really know what to think about California now. They're 3-0.
I mean, Cal was better than their record last year. I mean, they had Miami beat and just fell apart at the end of the game. And they were in a lot of their games last year. They had a lot of close losses. So California is better than what their record was last year. Of course, they lost their quarterback, but I think they'll be able to make some noise in the ACC this year.
The replacement is better, I think. Jaron Kioi Sagapola Latele. I don't know if that's it. I'm just taking a
I'm
stab
gonna go out
at
on a
it.
limb and say probably not.
It's probably not. It's probably not even close. Probably not even close. For now, we'll say JKS. But he had a great day. 279, 3 touchdowns. He was doing his thing. I don't know about their running game, but maybe in Minnesota you don't need a running game. Like they only rushed for 61 yards, but it didn't hurt them. But he spread the ball around everywhere. Like how many different receivers caught the ball? Was it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different receivers caught the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's spreading the wealth.
And looking at their schedule going forward, it's favorable. I mean, they're at San Diego State this week, at Boston College, home for Duke, home for Carolina, at Virginia Tech. It's always going to be tough because you're going across the country.
Right.
Home for Virginia. Then it gets a little tough at the end. They play at Louisville, then at Stanford, and then home for SMU. So they got 2 of the 3. They got 2 of the, who should be right there in the conference.
The perceived good. Right. So it's going to be interesting to see how they finish out the season. The other game, the final game of the ACC, Boston College and Stanford. Stanford shocked us all. Shocked us all.
I don't know about shocked. They won.
Well, I thought Boston College was better than that. I didn't think they would. And here's the thing: Boston College went up 20-6 in. They scored 20 straight points in the second quarter to tie the game up. So you're thinking, okay, we got us a game here. Boston College is, woke up. They should be fine. And no, they were not. They didn't score another point the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, Stanford does have some weapons on the outside. So I wasn't completely shocked by that, but I'm sure I'll probably pick Boston College to win that game. But
yeah. Well, let's be clear. Stanford has Micah Ford, and Micah Ford is a halfway decent running back. He had 157 yards. He had a day. So they got a decent running game, and I think that running game was just too much for Boston College to stop. So it makes it interesting because if Boston College can't stop the one guy, like teams who have multiple backs, how are you gonna? I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting season for the rest of the season for Boston College for sure. Things can be corrected. They can be, but it's not likely against better talent. Talent usually wins in the end. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with Boston College going forward. Okay. The other BLEAV in the ACC games, we had Arkansas in a really close game against Ole Miss, and Ole Miss was was really fighting in this one, and this one came down to the. And this one came out. This one came down to the end. I thought this was. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought Arkansas had this one, and I think the young kid in Arkansas fumbled the ball or something like that at the end of the game, and it just didn't end well for them. But Arkansas is a good team. It's a better team. Ole Miss is a good team as well, and so it just worked out. Who had the ball last was Ole Miss, and Ole Miss was able to win the game. But it was a really good game, to be honest with you. It was a really, really good game. I thought it was going to overtime for a little bit, but Ole Miss was able to pull it out.
Now, it was some great games over the weekend. Arkansas's got a lot to build on. Of course, they got a rough schedule, but they're going to be a sneaky, difficult opponent for Notre Dame later on down the road.
Well, listen, speaking of Notre Dame, wow. Who saw this one coming? This guy. Texas A&M, Notre Dame. This was a great game. This was a great game. But it makes you wonder, what is the disconnect for Notre Dame right now? Like what? Because you got to always remember this about Notre Dame when they lose. They don't have a conference game to lean on. They have to win games, and they have to win marquee games, because those are the games that send messages to voters to say they deserve to be in a playoff. Now, the other thing that helps Notre Dame is that they're a brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know some of you are saying, well, they've lost 2 games. They won't be.
Matter.
They'll still be in the conversation at least and they have a schedule.
With their schedule,
that is very winnable.
They should run the table. They have USC and Arkansas are the 2 toughest teams left on their schedule. If they win those 2 games, and they're 10-2 at the end of the season, having won 10 straight, they're not leaving Notre Dame out of that playoff.
Not at all. And we don't know what USC really is. We think we know what Arkansas is, but we don't know what USC is. USC may or may not be good. So we'll see. Yeah.
And it won't matter. If Notre Dame wins 10 straight games to end the season, there's no way they're going to get left out of the playoff.
Here's what's interesting about Notre Dame. They have production. CJ Carr. If I said these numbers to you, you would think Notre Dame won this game. Marcel Reed, the quarterback for Texas A&M, was 17 of 37. That sounds like great defense was played against him. The problem is he had 360 yards. So
just going deep on.
Right. So something is happening over the top. Well, Mario Craver is his name. Mario Craver. I got to learn these names. Singly had 207 yards receiving. You can't do that. You can't let one guy just destroy you, which is what Notre Dame did. So, Casey Concepcion, it seems like that kid's been in college a long time. I could be wrong, but it feels like he's been around. Concepcion, because Concepcion is a name that you don't forget.
Well, there's been a lot of great Concepcions, and
there's been some great Concepcions.
You normally in baseball, but
right.
A lot of
I just think Notre Dame, something is not clicking, and they'll have time to work it out, and I'm sure they will. Marcus Freeman is a phenomenal coach. He'll right the ship. They'll get back on track, but they cannot slip up anymore.
Right.
They cannot slip up anymore.
Their margin for error is very thin.
Yes.
But if they went out,
they're in.
Which Notre Dame tends to do.
Yeah, they're probably in.
Yeah.
They're probably in. Another great game, Georgia-Tennessee. A phenomenal game. This one came down to the wire. It appeared Tennessee had it won, or at least had pushed it to overtime, and Georgia's like, not so fast, my friend. Shout out to the great Lee Corso. It was the last second play of field goal, wasn't it? It was a field goal, right?
Yeah, it was a field goal.
60-yard. Was that the 60-yard?
No, Tennessee got a false start.
Georgia Tech was the 60-yard. Yeah, Tennessee got the false start. That's right. Oh man, that was a controversial play.
And, it was a false start. And
Yeah.
I knew, as soon as they got that false start, I was like, oh, he's gonna miss this field goal.
Yeah, yeah. But Gunnar Stockton was not bad. I think the bloom came off the rose a little bit because this was like the first real test for him. And I think you saw a few of the cracks. Still passed for 300 yards, so he was not that many cracks, but a better team.
For Georgia to come back in that game, I mean, Tennessee was just going over the top over and over again to start that game. They was getting long touchdown after long touchdown to start that game. For Georgia to come back in that game says a lot about Georgia. It says both of these teams' secondary needs a lot of work.
Well, let's be very clear. Joey Aguilar is a dude.
Yeah,
he's a dude. He can play. He's solid. His long game, to your point, way better than his short game. He's gonna have to work on those intermediate passes for sure. But if you give him a window to throw the ball long, he's going to get it done. Chris Brazil went off, like completely off. 6 receptions, 177 yards. And Braylon Staley was right there with him. He had 9 for 97. That's not bad, averaging 9 yards a play. That's a good day's work. Or 10 yards a play. That's a good day's work. So they can throw the ball. And guess what? He's also better than what left. I'm going to keep saying that because it's embarrassing what happened in that situation. But fantastic day for Tennessee. They just came up a little short. Little short.
When both quarterbacks throw for over 300 yards, you said Aguilar threw for almost 400. And they throw for a combined 6 touchdown passes between the two.
That's a good game.
It's a great game, and you got to work. If you're both teams, you're worried about your defense. You're worried about your
Also that, because that's not a good sign that we can't stop anybody ever.
Right.
Okay, and then of course we have Vanderbilt doing Vanderbilt things. I don't want to talk about this game a lot because Lenoris went out very early, and the bottom basically fell out for South Carolina. They just couldn't recover from that. So that left us with this week's records. Charlie, 9-4. Kendrick, 10-3. I gambled a lot last week. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gambled a lot. A couple of times I came up big. Other times I did not. So, although I wasn't far off, I just didn't win them. So there you go.
Like Tal says, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's true, but it's fine.
Actually, that was Al McGuire.
Listen, I started out rough last year, and we all know how that turned out. So let's keep moving. All right.
You were taking some swings this week. I even said it during the show last week. It's like
you did. He's like, you really out there this week. And I was like, I don't know. It must have been. I was on some medication too, so that might have helped some of my decisions. So there you go. All right. So now we're at this week. Is this 4 already? Yeah. God, jeez, we already at week 4. Okay, week 4, and coming out the gate early Saturday morning, we got Bowling Green and Louisville. Now, this is an interesting game because Bowling Green is actually playing really, really well under their new head coach. Is it Eddie George? Is this
Eddie George?
This is the Eddie George Bowl?
Yes, Eddie George took over a bowl. I didn't realize that Eddie George had left Tennessee State until this coming week.
I knew he had left. I just forgot that it was Bowling Green, and then the hype of this week reminded me, like, oh, that's right, this is Eddie George's squad, and they're playing again. They're playing well. They're actually playing really, really, really well. So this will be an interesting game. I think it's a tall task to ask him to go into Louisville in year 1 of his Bowling Green coaching experience and get a W. Which is also reflected in the 26.5 point spread that Louisville has. I think it's going to be tough for them to get the win, but it could be an interesting game in the sense that maybe his guys can start to understand where the program is going. So there you go.
An interesting note in this game, Lloyd, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Bowling Green has a spirit animal named Pudge the Cat. And Pudge the Cat has been credentialed for this game on Saturday.
Is it an actual cat?
Yes. Yes.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait, just everybody just pause the entire show for just a minute.
Pudge the cat, the unofficial mascot. It's more than a smushy face, as the Bowling Green football says.
He is not, ladies and gentlemen, Kendrick Haskins is not joking. This is not hyperbole. as I assumed that it would be. Because we have a good time on this show. Let's just call it what it is. And so I'm thinking, no, that can't be true. It is absolutely 1,000% true, ladies and gentlemen. I bring to some and introduce to others, Pudge the cat, fully credentialed for this game this week. I want to be very clear about some of my thoughts, not inflammatory, but just making observation. That is an ugly cat. That is not the most handsome cat you've ever seen. I'm not a cat guy anyway, but this would not make me want to be a cat guy. This cat looks very, 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 very close to the end. Is what I'm saying.
His face looks like a fist.
It's right. It's right. Pudge the cat has been credentialed. So it is very possible that a bird may come down, swoop down, and sweep Pudge like right out the stadium.
I do wonder if he'll get spooked by the constant airplanes flying over the stadium.
It doesn't feel like this is going to end well, but why do they have a cat as their? Are they the Bowling Green Cats?
No, they're the Falcons.
You know what? I'm not doing this with y'all. let's move. Let's move. Bowling Green. I'm not fooling with y'all. I'm not fooling with y'all. All right, let's move on. I'm assuming we're all going to Louisville. Charlie, God bless Charlie. He's on the road again. He did pick Louisville as his pick this week. So there you go. Syracuse and Clemson.
Syracuse on the road. I'm going Clemson.
You got to go Clemson, right? You got to go Clemson because surely, though I do want to talk about, while we're here, I do want to talk about something that happened. Kendrick Haskins.
Could this be a press conference that happened recently?
It is a press conference. And I promised the people on another show that we do called The Five that I would have comments to make this week on this here show. Dabo Swinney had a press conference, as he normally does in the week of any game. And he said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing because the exact quote kind of escapes me, but I promise you'll get the gist when I say this. He said, if Clemson is tired of losing, they can always let me go.
He said if they're tired of winning.
They're tired of winning, right. If Clemson's tired of winning, we've won 8 out of the last 10 conference championships. So if they're tired of winning, they can always let me go. Now, Kendrick and I have been doing this a long time. We know the difference between coach speak and other.
Or someone in their feelings.
Now, this could have been just him in his feelings. Could have been. But the problem is, there's a guy down in the South in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, that is struggling right now. And yes, his buyout is immense. But you know what? When people want you gone, they'll find a way. And maybe for the first time, this didn't seem like a random thought.
Well, we know that Dabo's sensitive. He is.
He's super sensitive. He's
super sensitive. Yeah. He'll say he doesn't read and see anything, but he always reacts to it.
Absolutely reads and sees everything.
And furthermore, as far as that school in Tuscaloosa, I think he's already played himself out of that.
I'm just saying, everybody who watches our show, put a bookmark on that statement. That's all we're asking you to do. Just put a bookmark on it, and we'll revisit it later. Because if they lose,
Georgia Tech's coach has a better shot at the Alabama job than Dabo.
Well, let me say this: You may be right to that, but also, I just thought it was interesting. He mentioned that he's 55 and he's still gonna keep coaching. So if Clemson wants to let him go, he's still gonna keep coaching. Where would Dabo want to coach if he left Clemson? I just for the life of me, I don't know where he would. I just don't feel like those were random thoughts from a rambling, bitter, angry, and offended man. They seemed very strategically placed. So I bookmarked it. And we'll revisit it later.
I mean, he may think he still can go to Alabama, but
there may be an opening. It is, bless you, sir. Listen, there's a strong possibility there will be an opening.
it's a strong possibility of that.
So we'll see. I'm just throwing that out. Now, having said all that, we're all taking Clemson. So there you go.
Right.
It won't be this week's won't affect any of that.
No.
Okay. All right, Woodford and Virginia Tech.
Wofford.
That alone tells you who I'm taking. Surely Virginia Tech is not this bad. They're not Wofford bad.
They should.
They might be, but I don't think they are.
I'll take them to win. I'll take Virginia Tech.
As did Charlie. We will all take Virginia Tech on this one. Surely. Kendrick, surely. Wofford won't be. Now, keep in mind, Virginia Tech doesn't have a head coach.
Right. So,
But surely, the pride of Virginia Tech, Hokie pride, will rise up in this moment, and they will.
And it could be a galvanizing moment. They rally around whoever the interim.
Right.
Yeah, so they'll be fine.
Surely.
They'll be fine this week.
Surely. No, I have no doubt they'll be fine.
It doesn't sound like you don't have any doubt.
I have some doubt. I have some doubt. But we'll see. I don't think they'll lose. But, okay. Rivalry game. Battle of Dallas. SMU, TCU. This is an interesting game. Yes. This is an interesting game. And it's at TCU this time.
Mm-hmm.
SMU, if we're being completely honest, has not played great to start the season, especially their defense, which they leaned on heavily last year. I'm concerned. I am very concerned.
Going into this game when TCU has one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Yes.
So
now, to be fair, Charlie went where his money went. He went to TCU on that vote.
We're never surprised by that.
He had to do it. That's where his money went. So I get it. Where are you going with this, Kendrick?
I'm going where Charlie's money went too. I'm going with TCU in this one. And I said they've looked good to open the season. They're off to a 2-0 start. Of course, at North Carolina, then Abilene Christian. Even though they didn't beat Abilene Christian like you would expect them to. They only won that game.
They did not.
They won.
They did not. Yes.
So, but they're Josh Hoover is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He's going to put up big numbers. He's already thrown for 621 yards in 2 games. And so he's averaging over 300 yards per game. So
he's playing very well.
And SMU's defense does not look like SMU's defense of last season. And so I would expect TCU to throw up another 40-burger and win this game.
I don't think this is going to be. I don't think this is going to be a defensive clinic by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's going to come down to probably who has the ball last, and it's more than likely that that'll be TCU since the game's in Fort Worth.
And this is the last time that they play the old Iron Skillet rivalry.
That's such a weird name for a rivalry, the Iron Skillet.
If you think about it, most of these rivalries have really weird names because
they do.
Born out of the 1800s.
The backyard brawl to me is the best one. Yeah. That might be the best one.
Like Indiana Purdue is for the battle for the old Oaken bucket.
That is very very ridiculous.
It's also the state of Indiana.
Right. Right. Facts. I'm gonna be honest with you about this next one. I'm a little tired of Florida State's schedule.
Why?
Because I don't really know what you are yet. I don't know.
You're not gonna know for a while.
You got the win the first week. That was phenomenal. But now it's just you're just stacking, I don't know. So I don't know what you are. Now, Kent State, I don't know. They're 1-2. So I don't know. Florida State should win this.
Florida State will be fine. We'll learn a little bit at Virginia next week. Then, of course, is the big one at home against Miami the following week. So
I want to see Florida State play somebody.
they did.
And yeah, but I didn't take a lot from that game because I don't know what I saw. I'm still trying to understand the team they beat. Like, are they really? I don't know. I just don't know. So we're going to see. We're going to learn a lot this week, though, about another team, UNC. Have they figured it all out? Or are they about to go and get the brakes beat off them by UCF? Because let me just tell you something. UCF, one thing that UCF has is they got the dough. And they're spending the dough.
Stadium, the bounce house.
They got the bounce house. And they play well at home. They are a 7.5-point favorite over North Carolina.
Wow.
And I think that might be a legit number. I don't know if North Carolina is any different than what they were the first week of the season. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going UCF in this one. I'm until UNC proves to me otherwise, I'm going to their opponent unless their opponent is really, really bad.
Well, I mean, my apprehension is looking at who UCF has played so far. Nobody. North Carolina is the best team they've played so far. They played Jackson State. They beat them 17-10. Then they played North Carolina A&T. Shout out to the HBCUs, but I mean they beat them 68-7.
Right.
So I've got my questions about who they are right now.
That is totally fair.
And
I just know that they are.
They got the 3:30 slot on Fox for that game.
And I think this is This is North Carolina's. Is this their first road game?
I'm sure it probably is.
So I'm concerned about that because that's really a much tougher road game than you might imagine.
Oh, it's a tough road game, but
yeah,
in time that UCF has literally played nobody, and North Carolina has played on the road. It's just the first time outside of the state.
Okay,
they played that.
Well, right, yeah, Charlotte. I mean, come on, that's.
I'm going to take Carolina in this game.
You taking Carolina?
Yeah, because they've played better competition. Even their two easy wins at Charlotte and home against Richmond is better than anybody UCF has played.
Okay, all right.
Go Carolina in this.
Well, let's see if Bill Belichick can go legitimately on the road this time and get the win. NC State and Duke, this is a no-brainer.
Right, give me NC State all day.
All day and twice on Saturdays and Sundays. Temple and Georgia Tech also feels like a no-brainer. I can't imagine that Tech is going to start stumbling now.
There is a chance of a little bit of a hangover from that win last week. So I expect possibly a slow start, but Georgia Tech will win.
Okay, I think Georgia Tech is a lock on that one. Florida and Miami. I gotta go Miami because Florida has been awful.
I mean, outside, if Lagway doesn't throw 5 interceptions last week, that's a different game.
He was
awful. He threw 5 interceptions. And there's going to be a little bit of revenge on Florida's mind after the way Miami beat them down to start the season last year. But it's not going to matter. Miami's going to win that game.
I was going to say, I don't know if any of that matters. I think Miami. Like I said, and it's at home. Carson Beck is playing well. He's just in a nice zone.
You didn't talk about from their last game is how does Miami have a retractable roof and have a rain delay.
Don't understand that at all. unless it's a glass roof, and they're just afraid that lightning is going to hit the glass roof. That's the only outcome I could think of. Because other than that, go play the game. Just put the roof on, close the roof, and let's move on. What are we doing? Why'd you build it?
And it was what? It was what? 3 hour.
It was a long delay.
Weather delay, and I guess maybe there's something where you can't close the roof if there's weather going. I don't know.
I don't know either. It was weird, but it seems like, or maybe does it take all day to close it? Like, is it a situation where it takes like hours upon hours to close it?
Taking any longer than that delay took.
I just didn't. I'm with you. I didn't understand what the problem was. Like, this feels like an easy fix. Just close the roof and let's play ball. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. It was a strange thing, but they didn't close it. There was no ball. So there you go. Virginia and Stanford just got a little interesting, but I don't like that Stanford's got to go play.
Okay, so it does not close all the way.
It doesn't close all the way.
No.
So how far does it close? Does it close at all? Does it come together at all?
No, it's basically just a canopy. And basically it's like the old Cowboy Stadium. It has a hole in the roof.
So God can look at the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, the people are covered, but the field is not.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's a very
it was definitely a long delay for, they probably could have mailed that one in and it would have been fine. Stanford and Virginia, which way are you going on that one?
Virginia. I'm not going to trust Stanford to go across the country and win. And Virginia's tough.
They are tough. And it will be a competitive game. Stanford will make it competitive once they wake up.
I was laughing, quick soccer note, because a couple weeks ago, Louisville beat Stanford in soccer, and Stanford was the number one team in the country at the time. Guess what time they played that game? In Louisville.
Probably 7 o'clock.
11:30 a.m.
11:30 a.m. Oh, well, then then that game was over when they got off the bus.
No disrespect to Louisville soccer team. They're having a great season, but yeah, they
do the math, people. Stanford played that game at 8:30 a.m. That's what he just said. Stanford was like, I haven't even showered yet. That's where they were when that game started. So Louisville was like, we ready to go. I don't know what y'all doing. So that is unfair in so many levels. I'm sure they play again this season, all right?
Probably not.
It's a one-off?
Probably.
That's not cool.
With conference schedules, because conferences are so big.
That's not cool. That's not cool. If they did Stanford like that.
They don't play that many games in soccer.
If only they would have stayed in the conference that they were birthed to stay in.
That conference is the Pac-2 now.
Technically, it still exists, Kendrick. It's still there. The Pac-12 still exists. It's just not 12 anymore. It's like 2.
So no, they do not. They do not have another.
Wow, that's some dirty pool right there. But shout out to Louisville, you got the win, so can't even be mad at that. California and San Diego rounds out the ACC week. I kind of have to go with California just on some GP, right?
Yeah,
they're playing well.
Cal's got a favorable schedule, and so San Diego State hasn't really been relevant since Marshall Faulk. And so
you know what? You didn't have to do that. That wasn't necessary.
I'm sorry.
Well, Charlie believes in San Diego State.
Let's do a deeper dive into the Aztecs.
I'm going Cal. I believe in a 3-0 record personally, but
right, and I think Cal, like I said, I think Cal's better than people give them credit for. What conference is San Diego State even in? Are they in the Mountain West?
I think so. That sounds right to me. Which they should be in the Pac-12 also. Just what is the Pac-12 doing? Why are you wasting time not rebuilding? There are at least 10 other teams on the West Coast that you can pick and grab right now.
Well, yeah. So San Diego State beat Stony Brook 42-0. They lost at Washington State 36-13 last time out. So
Yeah, it's time.
yeah, I'll go with Cal.
I'm going with Cal on that one as well. I believe games this week. Mr. Ward picked Purdue and Notre Dame. He picked Notre Dame as his
Get out of a limb
game
on
this
that
week.
one.
Yeah, I think Purdue might be in a lot of trouble because they're going to catch a very hostile Notre Dame team. The other games are Texas Tech, Utah, which should be interesting because that's basically a pick 'em. As probably is Auburn and Oklahoma.
This is the game I was talking about, the hype, when we was talking about them hyping up the games of the week.
Yeah.
Because we were sitting there yesterday in the office, and they was talking about Mentor, Oklahoma's quarterback, as a leading.
Who has played well.
He's played well, but he's 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the season.
Let's settle down.
So they're pumping him as the number one candidate. He's right now leading the odds in the Heisman. And so Dusty's losing his mind because what Dusty tends to do. I was like, Dusty, who's Alabama play this week? He looks it up and he says, Auburn. What channel is that game on? ABC. There you go.
Right.
That's how it works. I was like, and you notice he's at the top of he's the leader, odds-on leader in whose gambling site? ESPN's.
ESPN bet.
Because he's not on FanDuel. So he was on DraftKings. He was on DraftKings.
He's barely on anybody's radar. Like, I mean, let's be honest. He's had a good season, or more specifically, his team has. Oklahoma is better than you think they are. That defense is much better than you think they are.
And they had a good game in that showcase game against Michigan.
They did, and if I had to go out on a limb today, I would say Oklahoma is probably going to beat Texas in that red rivalry game because I just don't think Arch is going to have it figured out by that game. So Oklahoma is trending in the right direction, and also he's okay. He's not like tearing the world up.
But if I'm making an early leader, I would think it'd have to be Carson Beck.
I would think so too. I think Carson, to me, is the favorite. It's his to lose at this point. Other game is Illinois and Indiana, which will be interesting as well because we'll hopefully find out a lot more about Illinois. I don't know what to make of Illinois right now. They seem the eye test says that. Go ahead.
We know a whole lot more about them than we do with Indiana and their crappy schedule to begin the season.
Also very true. Also very true. So I tend to lean toward Illinois on that one, but the other game, Michigan and USC. So these are some interesting games this week to pick from, challenging games because there's a lot of unknown factors in each game. So I don't know which way. I think I'm. Go ahead.
We're finally rounding the corner to where we're going to really find out about these teams, and they're not playing exhibitions anymore.
Yes. I'm going to stay away from that Texas Tech Utah game.
I'm staying away from that.
Yeah. I don't know enough about either team because mainly because I just refuse to stay up that late to watch a Utah game because they don't start till 10 o'clock. I'm not doing that. I'm just come on, I'm not doing that. I have seen Oklahoma. I feel as though that's probably the safest game to pick this week. But also, I feel fairly confident about Illinois, Indiana. So, I don't know what to think about Michigan because I just don't think they have anything past Underwood and Haynes. So, I may stay away from that one. And I really don't know if USC is legitimately the 25th best team in the nation or not. If I had to guess, I'd say they probably aren't. But I don't feel confident about Michigan either. So for me, it's Illinois or Indiana or Auburn, Oklahoma. What say you, Kendrick Haskins? I'll let you select first. Because whichever one you don't pick, that's probably the one I'm picking.
I'm going Illinois over Indiana.
Great.
Okay. I mean, Indiana looks like they have parts, but we just don't know.
We just don't know.
Not just that schedule is embarrassing for a team that was in the college football playoff last year, and you bought out. They bought out of games against Louisville and Virginia, and so I'm like, my respect level for them went down a lot with the way they did their schedule this year.
Yeah, they don't seem. The coach clearly does not seem to. Something's going wrong with recruiting, which is making him say, "I'm not ready to compete yet." Which I understand. I get it.
I don't think it's that.
You don't think it's that?
No, he even said he's like, we're taking the SEC route as far as scheduling, and they're scheduling. They're trying to schedule their way into the playoff every year. That's what they're doing.
Is the Big Ten that strong?
I mean,
because right now it's Penn State, Ohio State,
right, and
Michigan's a massive question mark. Illinois, we think is good.
Now, I will give IU this. They do have a difficult conference schedule. So they play Illinois this week. They're at Iowa their next game. They're at Oregon. Then they come home.
But is that a difficult game?
What, at Oregon?
Iowa.
Well, you're not going to score any points, so that makes.
Well, I guess technically it is a strong game because right now, Iowa's technically undefeated in the Big 12. So
in the Big 10.
I mean the Big 10. So are they undefeated? I said they're undefeated. Maybe they're not. They're 2-1. They're 2-1. I was thinking Iowa State. I apologize. So so again, I go back to my original statement. Is that a tough game?
It's on the road, and Iowa's a tough place to play. Plus, Iowa's defense, they don't give up points. They
don't give up points.
You have to win those games like 10-7.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's going to be tough. And then that next week they're at Oregon. They come home for Michigan State and UCLA, which should be winnable games. And they go to Maryland, which should be winnable. Then they're at Penn State. And then they have Wisconsin at home and close the season in a rivalry game against Purdue. So Indiana's conference schedule is difficult. It's not earth-shattering, but it is difficult. They got 3 top 10 teams in there. But
there are too many teams in the Big Ten.
Their pre-conference schedule is just laughable. Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State.
Well, that Old Dominion might turn out to be.
Old Dominion's the toughest team they've played, and so
yeah, that might turn out to be a really.
And again, when you look at it, where they bought out of games against ACC teams, the Big Ten is supposed to be the mighty Big Ten, and they're buying out games against the ACC, which is not supposed to be good,
right?
And replace them with Kennesaw and Old Dominion.
Yeah.
And Indiana State. I mean, come on.
Okay. All right. And obviously I'm going Oklahoma over Auburn. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
I'm just not sold on Auburn yet.
Right.
It says more about Auburn than it does Oklahoma. Because I've seen Oklahoma. I'm still kind of skeptical on Auburn. Because Auburn is just one of those weird schools. They are a blue blood in college football. But they go through stretches where they're awful. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they'll be good again. So it's hard to gauge what Auburn is right now.
One thing I did see is Oklahoma's defense, and that's enough for me to say I think they'll beat Auburn. Yeah. Because the game's at Oklahoma. Right. So I think they'll beat Auburn. So all right, so that's all we have as far as the ACC. Obviously now comes the other stuff. We call it. I mean, I understand, okay, you got your little America's team shirt, whatever, but you're not wearing it with as much confidence today as you did before. I can promise you that. So,
Why? You don't think I'm confident in that secondary?
Listen. If we'd had 5 more minutes, we'd have beat Trayvon Diggs again. We'd have called him slipping again. Russell Wilson looked at that secondary and said, ha. I see your secondary and produce Malik Neighbors. And Malik Neighbors is a guy. He's a dude doing a thing.
He is a dude. Malik Neighbors is a dude.
He is a dude doing a thing right now. That was an interesting game.
And Dallas gets Roma Dunze this week. Glad I have him on fantasy.
I may start legitimately trying to find a receiver, even the second or third tier receiver, for the team that Dallas plays each week and just start them in the.
As great as Neighbors was, Wan'Dale Robinson had over 100.
Wan'Dale had a day.
140 yards too.
Wan'Dale had a day, and I'm saying, wow, this is amazing. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but everybody keeps asking me, well, how do you feel about it? You know, they lost the game, but they played really well. I'm going to be honest with you. I enjoyed the game for what it was, but also the plan is very simple, people. Keep Jackson Dart from touching the field too fast, and also get to the end of the season healthy with everybody, and we're fine. Show improvement. That's all I'm asking you to do.
And it's not me taking shots at your Giants. So it is a legitimate concern that I mean, as much as we talk about Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors, Dallas' offense torched the Giants' defense too. And so
they did, and what was interesting is that the Giants' defense showed flashes all throughout the game, but there's still an inconsistency and a disconnect with the DC, and that really Shane Bowen's got to figure some things out. He's got to call a better game because there's too much talent on that offense or that defense not to produce better results than what they produced. They should have won that game. Let's be honest. They should have won that game.
They should have won the game.
Yeah.
They do have problems on the back end of that defense. Because like when it came down to it, when Dallas needed plays, Pickens and CeeDee Lamb was just destroying that secondary. Because
I think it's
going to. That's all it was.
But I think right. But I think it's scheme more so than talent. I think the scheme is wrong. I think there's no reason why freaking Dak should be running 20 yards down the middle of the field at the end of the game. That made no sense. Why are you calling a prevent defense in a moment where you don't need to prevent anything? You just need to go tackle the quarterback and make and stay true to your discipline. So it was a weird. Go ahead.
You see that all the time in football. Period.
100%.
They're dropping back in coverage and
let me say this: it drives me crazy sometimes because I'm saying if you got a team on the ropes, finish them. Stop being scared to lose. Just go finish them. You got dudes. Let them dudes do what they do. Send those dudes to go do what they do. It just, I don't know. And then they haven't completely figured out how to put Thibodeau, Carter, and Burns all on the field at the same time and let them wreck.
That part to me was confusing.
Which doesn't seem to be as complicated as they've made it out to be, but
right. It's
for some reason they're way confused about how to put them all.
It's not like all three of them play the exact same position. It's weird. That part.
It is weird to me. I don't understand why that's so complicated. But again, I listen. Mike Tomlin next year he won't have any of these problems.
We'll be remiss if we did not mention the Steph Curry of kicking, though.
The what now?
The Steph Curry of kicking.
Listen,
Brandon Aubrey's the MVP of the Dallas Cowboys.
Let me just
for a couple years now.
Let me just look right into the camera and make this declaration right now for all who would like to know what I'm about to say. The best thing that I did in my fantasy draft was draft Brandon Aubrey. That was the G. And by the way, that was not accidental. I took him early. I took him very early. If you go look at our draft thing, I took him in like the 7th round. And I'm sure everybody was like, why is he taking a kicker so early? Because he's Brandon Aubrey. Because he kicked 64 yards. Because we get bonus points in our league when somebody kicks 60 yards. And guess what? Brandon Aubrey is going to kick 60 yards all season long.
I mean, they might trot him out for a 70 at some point.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do it?
Maybe not the end of the game before halftime or something like that. I can see him trying it. Because, I mean, the 64-yard he kicked would have been good from 70.
I could see them do it.
Got over the crossbar.
Do you understand that when the Dallas got the ball back in regulation and they got to the 50-yard line, in my mind I said, oh, he's going to make this. It doesn't even matter if they get another yard. He's going to make the kick regardless of what it is.
The kick to win the game, they ran the ball up the middle. No, that was the game to tie it. No, that was the one to tie it.
That was the one to win it. But it didn't matter. They didn't have to listen. That was unnecessary yards. He didn't need those extra 20 yards.
But you would think he was No. I'm talking about it was before the running regulation when they had time to maybe throw an out route, maybe get another like 8 yards, making it an easier kick. No, they
For what?
ran a drop play to get 4 yards and kick a 64-yard field goal in the game.
Confidently.
But in all logic, it's illogical. That makes zero sense. But then you have this wizard back there kicking the ball.
Under normal circumstance, you are correct. This is a ridiculous strategy.
It's stupid.
But it's Brandon Aubrey. He's gonna make 64 yards. That's nothing. He leaves room to spare. So that was the best thing. That is a guarantee for me, 16 to 20 points every week. Every week. So I'm very happy. So I couldn't even, on one hand, I was upset that they lost, but on the other hand, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. So,
And you're going to get a lot of opportunities with them because Dallas is not good in the red zone. So he's going to get a lot of field goal attempts, regardless.
People, this is how you win fantasy championships right here. You go pick some of the best players, and he is by far the best Cowboy on the field. It is not even close.
Oh, so, Dak's playing pretty well.
He's the best Cowboy on the field. Dak is playing well, but who is more guaranteed and clutch? Brandon Aubrey or Dak Prescott? Just saying. Okay. Shocking news last night. And we won't get political. This is not about the political part of this at all. But it was shocking to see Jimmy Kimmel has been suspended for comments detrimental. I will just simply say this, and I'll leave it alone. Free speech must be protected at all costs. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. We're fine.
Yeah, being an employee at a TV station, I have to remain silent.
There you go. Absolutely. I agree with you, Alan Brown. It used to 50 yarders now is nothing. 50 yards is
that's a chip.
50 is the new 35.
Yeah, they're making 50 yards in college.
Right. 50 is nothing. I used to be impressed by it. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. What else do we have? What else we got this week? I talked about this on another show. I want to talk about it here if it's okay with you, sir.
Okay.
Did you see the Chris Brown video with Travis Kelce's ex?
Oh no! Please don't tell me it's Jada's sister.
Wait, hold on. Kayla Nicole is Jada's sister?
Yeah.
This just took a wild turn.
I've told you that before.
I did. I forgot, bro. Oh, my. Okay, so let me be very careful because we love Jada. Let me just say, I can't show it. I can't show it on any platform.
I'm 100%. I saw something, but I just kept scrolling. I didn't see what it was.
You did good because what you want to do is maintain what you already feel about Jada's sister. You want to keep that image in your mind, not this one. I can't unsee it. I caught me off guard in my timeline, and it just popped up, and there it was, and I was like, oh my. Let me just say this about Chris Brown and the like. I'm throwing Usher in there as well. I understand performance. I get it. I get singing the song. I get dancing. I get the performance. What y'all doing is crossing a lot of lines. And one of y'all go get caught in the street, and it ain't gonna end well. I'm telling you, you can't do that to somebody's. I don't know if she's dating anybody or not, but see, the problem is she looked like she enjoyed it. Kendrick, like she was. I'm just saying.
She's a big fan of attention.
Listen, clearly, because she had her legs back, and it was really quite something. It was, oh man, I forgot that Jada. Oh man, let me just stop now. But it wasn't. Listen, you don't want that on tape. I'm just saying, this is definitely NSFW for sure. It's Chris Brown, you living a dangerous life, sir. Because one of these days it's not going to end well. You can't do that and it end well for everybody. Like some guy is going to find you. I hope your security is strong. Is what I'm saying. It's really what I'm saying. Like,
well, I can tell though. Chris Brown can handle himself a little bit though.
I don't know. I
Brown
don't
ain't
know.
no punk.
He ain't no punk. Now I'll say that. I don't think he's a punk, but also he gonna run up on the wrong one, and I just think it's I don't know. Kendrick, it's a lot, brother. It's a lot. It was a lot.
If she's single, then
if she's single, then okay. But I'm just saying. But even if you're single, I don't know if that's what you want floating around the internets. Like that's. It was. Listen. I would have suggested protection. It was so. It was like it was.
Hey, like the last commenter said, if she allowed it, you gotta be mad at her, not him.
I don't know. I don't know. You have to see the video. If you haven't seen the video, you need to see the video because I don't know if it was all her fault. It was a weird. It's weird. Just we can't show it. We can't do that. Let's start there. We can't even show it. It's rough. It's very rough. Okay. What else is going on? WNBA playoffs is going on. The Lynx put out the Valkyrie last night. Shout out to the Valkyrie for a great first season.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, great.
In the 1 point game.
Yeah, they were in it to the end. In the
first in the inaugural season, playoffs and in the WNBA, which is not easy. So yeah, to make the playoffs in the first season of existence, yeah, shout out to the Valkyries.
That's pretty impressive, and so we give them all the love. But Nafisi started doing Nafisi things, and there you go. I want to ask you another sports question, just real quick. And only because he just popped up on my screen. What are your early thoughts in regards to Caleb Williams? What are your early thoughts to Caleb Williams?
Being as though he's playing the Cowboys this week, I think the verdict is still out on him. I think what you're seeing is a second-year quarterback. He's different. He's a different dude. I'm not going too far into that. He's a different dude.
He is a different dude.
But statistically, his stats aren't as bad. Their stats weren't as bad last year as people made them out to be. Now he does some stupid stuff. But he's in his second year with a second offensive coordinator, so he's learning the whole. So basically, he's had 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years, and you take his last year at USC, and it's gonna take him time. You see the flashes of the talent, but then he regresses within the game because that's what happened in that Minnesota game. In that first half, he looked phenomenal, but then he kind of took a step back, and then JJ McCarthy played well at the end of the game, and then he went back to being a rookie quarterback the next week. And so I think it's going to take time. There used to be a time in the NFL, I'm old enough to remember, when you didn't see quarterbacks prosper until their 3rd or 4th year. But
right.
Expecting to be right out of the box.
Right.
Hall of Famers. I think it's going to take him some time. But he is a weird dude.
He's a strange.
I think I'm looking at
him. He's a strange individual. His everything is strange to me. I don't get a lot of what he is. But I will say this. You say, I think it will take time. I'm going to say, I hope that he can change.
I feel like there's some maturity still.
To me, the thing that, and I understand what everybody's saying because I've heard more than one person say, give him time, give him time, give him time. I don't have a problem with giving him time. My challenge that I'm having with him is he seems to be fighting himself I know that Ben Johnson is teaching him proper everything. And he keeps fighting himself to do what he is being taught to do. As if he knows better than the people that are teaching him. And that's the challenge that I'm having with him because he, like you said, and you said it best, he regresses every single game. In the game that they played with Minnesota, he started out fine. He did good things. He made good decisions. And then when the pressure came, he went back to his old ways. In this last game, when Detroit went up, he said, in his mind, it's like he's saying, well, what y'all taught me ain't working, so let me go do what I do. Fam, what you do ain't working. Do you not understand that? Do you not get that what you do doesn't work? You can't run. You're not Lamar Jackson, bro. You're not. You're not Jaden. You're not even Jaden Daniels. You're just a dude trying to do a thing, and it's worked out in lower level football, high school, and some college to some degree. It was probably more successful in one place than it was in another. But
it's successful at USC.
I mean, that last season was left a lot to be desired in some of those games. Like it wasn't great. It was okay. It was good enough to him to take him number one, so I can't say it was awful.
Right.
But it wasn't the greatest. You saw a lot of bad habits, and it just appeared. My thing is, I just want to start to see him move away from his bad habits and trust the team more. Trust the guys that are. Roma Dunze is a dude. Mm-hmm. And I think he's open more than you're throwing him the ball. Cole Kmet is a dude. And I think he's open more than when you're throwing him the ball. So I understand your trepidation, but I think he's over analyzing. And it's paralysis by analysis, if we can use that term. And he's not throwing the ball when there's clearly guys who their window is there. I'm open. I'm as open as I'm going to be in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Right? Usually nobody's just running butt naked down the field. That's not how it works.
Unless they're playing the Cowboys.
But at some point, you gotta just let it go and trust that your guy's gonna make a play. And so I'm really interested about where this is going.
That is his biggest issue. Is he holds on to the ball too long.
Oh my God! It's like, and then the running when you hold on to the ball, you start running backwards, as if you have the type of getaway speed that can.
And it's only one man in the league who has that speed.
There's only been two in the history. Right? In the history of the league. There's only been two.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, fam, you got the discipline is what I'm concerned about with Caleb. I'm not seeing the discipline. And let me just say this, and I mentioned this in another place, I'll mention it here. You're not his guy. You're not Ben Johnson's guy. He has no loyalty to you, and they're not going to fire him. They know they got a guy who can do a thing. They're not firing him. You're on your rookie contract. You are easily disposable.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, I'm very concerned about who and what he is. I want to throw something else out here. This is for you because you're a local guy. You're in the state. I'm starting to feel like Sidney McLaughlin Lavrone. I think I pronounced the last name right.
I've heard of Lavrone. I've heard of Lavorni. It's
okay. I'm starting to think she might be the greatest track runner.
Why? Because she looks like she's walking and she's beating people.
I'm just saying, bro. She ran a 47.78. For those of you who don't know, that's fast.
And it's not even her main event.
That's not even her event. She
kind of just picked that up along the way.
She decided, since I'm so good at running hurdles, I should try this thing. Jesus, I'm starting to think she could run them all. The 2, the 1, the 4. I'm starting to think because she's really good. Oh man, did you see? Okay.
Her races aren't close.
They're not close. They're not even.
They're like
nobody.
About a halfway mark.
Nobody is near her. Nobody. She's just running free, like a young lady running through a meadow. She just.
I mean, she is a gazelle. I mean, she's as beautiful at running as a beautiful horse.
I'm starting to think she might be the best to do it. Like her dominance is Usain Bolt like. It's really scary how good she is at the track and field. Whew, man. Okay. God, it's impressive. It is impressive. Okay.
She's unbelievable.
Oh my God. What's interesting is that the 100 fluctuates always. It's year in, year out. It could be anybody. Same thing with the 200 for the most part. But with her, they're literally engraving the gold medal right now as we speak, and it's 2 years away. It's 3 years away.
400, and especially in the 400 hurdles. I mean,
all she has to do at this point is just be healthy,
mm-hmm.
and she's probably going to win several gold medals in her. Like it's okay. I just had to get that out. She's so good, bro.
Yeah,
she's
if
so
she does
good.
it again in this next Olympics, then yeah, they'll put her up.
She's just so much better than everybody else. No Pablo updates today. He's still pulling out receipts every time they say, "Oh, you didn't do this." And he's like, "I have it right here. I don't know what you're talking about." It feels inevitable at this point. By the way, shout out to, first of all, I have to make a public apology. You're right. I know I was going to say this for President Pro, but I'm going to do it here. Public apology to Rob Pelinka and Jenny Buss. Y'all are killing it. Because the fact that y'all walked away from the table on that kid, when you saw, have you seen that what Uncle Dennis asked of them?
I didn't see what he asked of them. I saw what he asked of the Raptors. Like he wanted a part of the Maple Leafs.
With the Lakers, he wanted part of the Lakers. Fam, Uncle Dennis, I hope you have enjoyed your time in the NBA because it's quickly coming to a close. They are going to ban you in ways that no man has ever been banned. And oh, by the way, just heard this little nugget. I'm curious to know what you think about this. It is under Adam Silver's discretion that he can void Kawhi's contract.
I think ultimately that's going to end up being the punishment because you can't punish some draft picks. They don't have any. You can't go back and, relitigate the trade with the Thunder. You're not going to bring Shea back to the Clippers and void out that deal. And
right.
So, I think that's going to be ultimately the punishment that comes down is that they void out Kawhi's contract.
And the most important thing of all the things you said, I agree with everything you said, but I think the most important thing is also you have to punish them.
Yep.
It has to be substantive. You can't. This is one of them times Adam Silver, I know he's pro player, but he got to come with it. And the players need him to come with it.
Well, the other franchises do too.
Yes.
I'm sure the Clippers aren't the only ones doing shady stuff like that. But that's neither here nor there. But my thing is, though, at the same time, when you void out Kawhi's contract, that makes him a free agent again, which means he'll get even more money. So I think if you void out his contract, and I don't know how that works with the union, but there probably needs to be a cap on what he can be paid because if you void out his contract, he becomes a free agent. He's not getting punished at all.
No. It's a fascinating. This is every day. This story becomes more and more fascinating to me because we're in uncharted waters. Like I'll say it this way: this is the first time this has been discovered and put forth publicly. Not saying it's the first time it's ever happened.
The Joe Smith thing with Minnesota was similar.
Yeah, but Joe ain't Kawhi. Like I get it, but
at the time though, we thought he was gonna be.
Well, that's true. that is, we did have high hopes for Joe, and it did not
turn out. He was
at
Millicent College.
Yeah, he was a menace in college. That is true. This is a wild story. Oh man, this is wild. So we don't have any really updates because most of the people that have tried to cover themselves have realized that, as we said before 2 weeks ago, Pablo got it.
Yep.
He got it. He got everything. He got all the receipts. He got all the people speaking. He got it. He got signed affidavits.
Yep.
So good luck to you, Steve Ballmer. You don't think this is going to end well, but
I think he'll. I mean, I don't think they'll go as far as taking the team away because he's too good for the league. But I do think there's going to be I only, like I said, only recourse I can see the NBA really taking is just voiding out Kawhi's contract. That's the only thing I can see happen. Maybe you void it out and make him have to stay with the Clippers, because if you put him out on the free agent, he's going to get more money than he's getting.
Yeah.
So
they may make them restructure the whole deal to something else. I don't know. It's. I think you got to punish him though. I think you got to punish him. And it's got to be real. It's got to be a real punishment. Like, it can't be a slap on the wrist, Michigan type punishment. It's gonna have to be something.
But the other owners have been conspicuously quiet about all of this.
Well, listen,
Mark Cuban's a minority owner of the Mavericks, but other owners. I'm paying attention to see if any other owners speak up, because you haven't heard a word from any of them.
Well, listen. There's an old gospel song that says, "Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine." So I feel like these owners are not saying anything because they don't want the smoke.
Right. And that's smart.
Yeah. But will this cause Adam to do a deep dive into some of these deals a little bit more and make sure that they're...
He won't, because all this stuff came from... I mean, they investigated this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So he won't.
As long as the term plausible deniability still exists in the world, these owners are fine.
Mm-hmm.
These owners are fine. Okay, am I forgetting? Is there anything else to talk about? The Tom Brady?
I'm sick of Tom Brady. I mean, everybody made a big deal about them having headsets on in the box, but I mean, obviously, it didn't make a difference. Gino looked horrible. It
was awful.
Hey,
it was awful.
Low key, watch out for those Chargers. They're legit.
They look like it. They look like a team that's kind of doing their thing right now. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds with them. I'm trying to think, is there any? I'm trying to make sure we covered all the fun. I love this part of it. Part of the show.
Oh, we didn't the fight.
I know it's I'm forgetting something. You know what I'm saying? What if I'm forgetting?
It was a clinic.
I owe him an apology because I didn't know you could.
I should get an extra point on that one.
No, you should not. It's boxing. It's not football.
So I picked it.
You did pick it. I technically picked it too. I just didn't pick it like you picked it. I just said I'm rooting for Bud. I didn't say Canelo was going to win. I'm rooting for Bud is what I said. So I just didn't expect Bud to dominate like that. Like, I thought Canelo had learned a considerable amount in his 63 fights. And it turns out he learned how to beat fighters who weren't as good as the legends.
Well, he learned that you can get stronger, but speed is always going to be his nemesis, and that's what it was. It was Floyd, and that's what with Terrence, speed.
Let me say this: to me, Terrence could not have fought a more masterful fight if he tried. And to me, the most glowing part of that fight was that at the start of each round, he hit Canelo so many times. Canelo started every round disoriented. Like, okay, why does he keep hitting me? I don't understand what's happening. Like, and then that last one, when he smacked him and turned him around, and even Canelo had to look like, hey, man.
It was that one, and it was another one.
Hey, man.
It was like rush out. Which one of y'all kicked me?
Which one of y'all? Which one of y'all kicked me? But
then he had the other one when he got hit, and he just like walked off like he was just defeated.
He was just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands anymore. But by the way, if you're gonna lose in life, lose 150 million up. Right. That's the way to lose.
Right.
I love his answer at the end of the fight. How do you feel? I feel good. I feel vindicated. I feel strong.
And you know, message for Dana White. Let's not start championship fights at 12:30 at night, please.
Fam, I almost brewed a pot of coffee. I was like, I ain't gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. This is late. This is crazy. That was crazy. But is Bud the greatest of all time?
I don't want to go that far. I think I give him the nod over Floyd, but
Ooh.
he fought.
You give him the nod.
He fought people in his prime. Floyd handpicked his fights. Like
He did, 100%.
And then I still can't put him over the Sugar Rays, the Marvin Haglers, the Thomas. That stretch right there is the greatest stretch in boxing. I can't put him over any of them.
Somebody asked me what's Bud's next fight. What does he have left to prove? Here's my only thing that I think he can do. There's only two paths, in my opinion. He either takes one of these bunky fights with the Paul brothers just for the payday. Because of Jake Paul.
They're not going to do it. The Pauls won't do it, though.
No, they won't. But I'm saying that would be the fight. The Pauls and Crawford for a payday would be great for him to get the payday. Mm-hmm. But the other thing that interests me is keep going up. Why not? Is there a great light heavyweight that we're unaware of out here? I don't even know who the light heavyweight champion is. No, that tells you how great. That's how great he is. Nobody knows his name.
That's such a massive jump, though.
But that's the
honestly, and especially at his age, Bud ain't got nothing else to prove.
He has nothing to prove.
Sunset.
To me, for Bud, it's the paydays at this point. Do you want a few more massive paydays? And the only place I think the paydays lie are going up.
Yeah.
You go to welter, if you snatch that belt, which there's nothing to make me think you can't at this point, and just keep going up until you can. Now, if he goes up and snatches 2 to 3 more belts,
yeah,
I gotta give you. I gotta anoint you. It's Muhammad and you now at this point. So because nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever done that.
Nobody's ever done it, but also got to look at the competition compared to what it was back then.
I agree. That plays a part. That plays a significant part.
Sleep on the names like Iran Barkley from back then. I mean, he would be.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Iran Barkley. He was a great boxer.
Be a monster today.
But I can't blame Bud for the age that he came into. Right. That's not his fault. All he can do is fight the guys across the ring from him, and he's ducked nobody.
Right. But
so
at the end of the day, competition has to play into it.
Alan Brown. Fight both the Pauls at the same time.
He will both of them too. He'd win.
They would take a massive L. Both of them would take a massive L. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does next. I don't. Somebody mentioned Shakir. I don't think Shakir Stevens is a good fight. I just don't think he's ready.
Plus, I don't think they would fight each other.
I don't think they would either. But also, I don't think it's a good fight. I just don't think it's a really good fight. Like,
Shakir.
Yeah, Shakir is still trying to figure some things out as a boxer.
Shakir don't want to get hit.
He don't want to get hit. He's gonna get hit in a ring with Bud. That's right. He's gonna get hit a lot. Quite honestly,
I like Shakir, but Shakir ain't trying to get hit.
Yeah, no. I just don't. I'm agree with you. I just don't think there's anything left for him to prove. But I hate to see him not get the most egregious thing that happened this weekend was that he walked away with, I think, 50. And which, listen, 50 is nice. That's a good pay. That's a good night out. But it was somewhere, depending on what report you believe. Some say it was 10 in the gate, and I think the gate ended up being 40, so something like that. Or his portion of the gate ended up being 40, which led to 50. I don't know. Obviously, we'll never know unless he tells us what the specifics are. But I want to see Bud get all of it. He's already got the money. He's already got the prestige. He's already got the prestige. I want to see him get the money now. And just if we can get him one more. Somebody mentioned Errol. Errol mentioned Errol, actually. Errol went on
after that big X. No, we don't need to see that again.
I don't want to see Errol. And that's family. That's family. But I don't want to see him.
Maybe, if Errol and Charlo go ahead and fight, and maybe he fights the winner of that, maybe. Errol would have
to dominate Charlo in a way that he's never been dominated before, though. It can't be close.
But as far as getting Crawford a payday. I think if you really hype up that fight and hype up that he's going to fight the winner of that could get him paid, and it'll be a legit fight and not a circus like with the Paul brothers.
Well, let me say this. Apparently,
he's not going to get paid like the Paul brothers, though. The Paul brothers
no
make more money.
Yeah. Let me say this. Apparently, hooking up with Riyadh season is the clear path to a great payday. So I just would like to see Bud get at least one phenomenal payday, and then if he wants to ride off the sunset after that, that's fine. But because there's nothing left for him to prove. He is the guy. He is the dude.
Yeah.
So all right. I think that's it. What else? What is going on with you? What as far as shout outs? Who are you shouting out this week, sir?
Let me shout out Racing Louisville midfielder Savannah DeMello. She suffered a medical event during their game on Sunday at Seattle, causing was rushed to the hospital. They had to stop the game. They resumed the game. What's today? Thursday. Resumed it on Tuesday. In the second half,
wow.
and poor Racing Louisville. They lose so many games at the end of the game. Score was 0-0, and Seattle got a goal in the 89th minute to win the game. But as far as that, but that's inconsequential. Savannah is doing much better. So now Savannah, if anybody that follows soccer knows Savannah. She played on Team USA in the World Cup and in the Olympics. She plays for Racing Louisville in the NWSL. Nice kid. It's a culture shock for her. She's a California kid living in Kentucky, and she's got her share of illnesses that she has coming in. And while they're not being specific because of HIPAA situations, they're not releasing what happened to her. But the good news is she is still in the hospital in Seattle at last check. Parents are there. She's alert. Team was able to visit her, and she's doing well. And so prayers up for her, and shouts out to her, and hopefully she can make a full recovery. Getting back on the field is the least of my concerns. Just want to make sure she's healthy and that she can make it back to the field great.
Okay. I wish I had a heartfelt shout out to give as well. That was really significant. Mine is more superficial than surface. Shout out to Cardi B, who releases her album tomorrow. And once again, she is great with child, as the Bible would say. She is great with child. And this one belongs to Stephon Diggs.
I thought they broke up.
No. The reports of their breakup was greatly exaggerated. They are still together. They are going to listen. I'm not mad at it, but you know what, man? Cardi's a good time. She's funny. She's funny. She's hilarious. I enjoy Cardi. I really do. She makes me laugh, and I always appreciate a good laugh.
I will say that, like, out of all of these celebrities and all these people who are basically just out there for the attention, Cardi does seem like the most authentic out of everybody out there.
What you see is what you get. Cardi will give you diva. Cardi will go off for you. Cardi will share a chopped cheese sandwich with you. That's Cardi B in a nutshell. And she takes herself seriously, but not so seriously that she can't just talk to you about regular stuff. Like, you know, I'm a Cardi guy. I like Cardi. I'm a fan of Cardi. So anyway, shout out to Cardi B. And who else do we want to shout out? Is that it? I think there was something else and I can't remember. It's not coming to me. Having an old man moment. But yeah, well, as far as that's concerned, that's my shout out. So I want you guys to have a great weekend. I know what my shout out was, because we're gonna get WrestlePalooza this weekend.
And I'm sitting here, I have First Take on, and every time I look over at First Take, I'm seeing another wrestler on there. This ESPN partnership is so weird.
That was the shout out. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell. That was what I want to talk to you about. Shout out to Molly Kieran.
situation other than she
So,
left.
and nobody does. Nobody. So right now, as amazingly as it is in a time where we are in 24-hour media and stuff leaks all the time, this has been very well kept as a overall reasoning as to why she left. Although, this is my humble opinion, I don't know if I'd have done it this way. She was on Monday and she quit Monday night. So that means there was no 2-week notice. There was no, apparently they were in negotiations, and negotiations went horribly awry Monday night, and she went to Instagram, and I guess she announced to them she quit, and then went to Instagram and told everybody she quit, and then Stephen A. been on all week trying to fill the role.
Yeah. I do, and it's just totally speculation. One may not have anything to do with the other, but I did find it weird that the same day she quit, or either the day after, they announced the extension for Malika. And I'm wondering,
They did.
I'm wondering if financially there was some issues there between what one was getting paid and what the other was getting paid. That's just pure speculation, but I did notice that within the same 24-hour time span that Molly eventually was gone, they announced the contract extension for Malika.
A lot of people got their checks this week. If you look at, this is our business, so obviously we're going to look. But a lot of people got their money this week. A lot of people. And Malika was definitely one of those people, which, by the way, is well-deserved. Malika works hard. She does a phenomenal job. Yeah. But I'm with you. That is curious. And then I don't know what she's asking. Listen, this is not shade. This is just my observation, a guy on the outside looking in. I don't know what Molly should be asking for, if you understand what I'm saying when I say that. Like, Malika's role is very different than Molly's role. And I don't know what Molly should be asking for.
She does more than Malika. I mean, Malika does more than Molly. Molly just does the show. Malika does a daily show, and she's on the NBA coverage.
I'm just saying it's
and one may not have anything to do with the other, so we probably shouldn't be speculating.
My fear for Molly is very simple. You stepped out away in a time and a culture where one network has monopolized sports, and they're not done. They're going to get MLB. We're just waiting on the announcement at this point. They got NBA, they've got NFL. So my question to you, you're not going to NBC because that's Maria. Maria's got that, and also what's her name that just left TNT? She's going over there. Taylor's going over there. So you're not.
There's Prime. There's Fox.
I'm thinking it's going to be one of those, but but you're not going to make what you probably could have made. I don't know. It just seemed. Listen, disrespect is disrespect. Maybe you felt disrespect. Clearly, you felt disrespected because you quit on a dime. So that was just a wow moment to me. Like, wow, you really just walked out of that job? Because you can't go back. You're done with ESPN till Jesus returns. So
we've seen people leave on bad terms at ESPN and come back. Rich Eisen's back, so we've seen it before.
Did he leave on bad terms the first time?
Wasn't good, no.
Okay, I thought his was just like, I got a better job and I'm out.
There was more to it than just that.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But I don't know. That was. He and Rich Eisen though.
He left ESPN for the NFL Network, so it's no.
So I can't even be mad at that because that's
back then though. That was a way opposite move, downgrade of.
It was, but he yeah. But then he ended up full circle. He's back, and now he's
And then NFL Network owns part of ESPN, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a very weird situation. But anyway, that was the wildest news of the week, I think. For me, it's like, wow, you just left? Like, you just
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, so those are my shout outs. I'm rooting for her. I don't know where this is going, but we'll see. Hopefully, she will rebound. And who do you think the replacement will be before we get out of here? Who do you think the replacement will be?
I don't know because they've had so many people come in there and fill in for her when she's been there. So it's up in the air. I'm sure there's probably a tryout going on or a hiring process going on. But like I said, they've had so many people fill in for her. There's nobody you can look at and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely the replacement because so many people have filled in for her.
I cannot remember her name, and I apologize. This is no disrespect. I promise you, there's no disrespect here. But there's a young black girl that does the. She's been doing a lot of the 6. Her and Elle have kind of been rotating on the sports centers a lot, and she's really talented. She filled in a first take a couple of times. She's really funny. She seems to get it. I could see her taking the spot. I could easily see her taking the spot.
I know who you're talking about, but yeah, I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I can't think of her name either. But yeah, I can see her taking the spot. But other than that, Shay maybe might get it. I can see Shay getting in there. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how they rebound first take. But that was a shocker this week for sure. For sure. All right, we love y'all. Have a great weekend. Enjoy WrestlePalooza and the games and all of that. And shout out to Brandon Arbor. You keep it going, boy. All right. Cue the whistle.
My dreams come true.